What's going on, boys? So I want to explain to you my story, okay? And this stems back from 2019, okay? So that's about as far as we're going to go back right now to present moment. So here on the left, I was a shy, low confidence guy, okay? A lot of this started after puberty, though, because I was a very extroverted, kindergartner, first grade. I was the ladies' boy. I was the line leader. Like, that's who I was, right? And then it seemed to have shifted after puberty. I ended up with a lack of social skills because I felt like an outcast all of a sudden. Like, I didn't feel like I fit into any certain group. I felt like I was like a loner, like somebody on my own. I thought people were judging me constantly. And that stemmed from being bullied by cheerleaders, dance girls, and everything else. And I think because I had a lack of self-confidence due to having acne, my style wasn't on point. I was starting to become more introverted, right? It's like, oh, well, if I'm being attacked, I need to retreat, right? And then the gym wasn't even on the radar until I was 23 years old. Okay, I was starting to bald out by the time I was 22, 23. That was unacceptable to me, so I had to change that. And I was just nervous to be on stage, right? So like, I played the trumpet, and we'd go on competitions and whatever, and you'd be in front of 30, 40, 50 people, and, you have to learn how to manage your nerves. Fast forward to today, I'll have a lot higher self-esteem. I'm social with anybody I interact with, anywhere, anytime, coming from a place of love, not hate. Because before it was a little bit more, I feel like everyone's attacking me, so I have to put up my wall defenses and like hate back, And that wasn't the best way. And so now it's a place of love, and I understand where people come from now. I feel like I can see that third person view a lot better, and now I just tell people, hey, you can just judge me for what you want. You just let them. You're not going to be able to please everybody. You just got to be yourself and be true to who that is. So now I'm more of an introverted, extroverted mix, so I can do both. I cleaned up my acne, fixed my hairline. Okay, I'm on finasteride. Basically, I take 1 milligram Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as well as like a minoxidil solution for my hairline there. So that's been working pretty well for me. In 2025, so this year here, will mark 6 years at the gym. And that's not just a physique or, aesthetic movement. This is the idea of becoming a better character, right? Becoming a better person of better character and just becoming a better version of yourself, really. The mindset is on a whole new level. Become way more disciplined with myself. So you can see in the top right picture there, it says 2014. That's when I was in the Texas A&M's ROTC. So it was the Corps of Cadets, and that taught me a lot about discipline. I mean, I already knew a lot about it because I was in the ROTC in high school as well. But that kind of pushed it to the next level. And that's really where I just decided, I was going to get out of it because I wasn't going to get a pilot slot and I wasn't going to have my college paid for. So I figured, hey, let me go do my own thing. So I ended up doing my own pilot's license and then did engineering school and then got into the gym late in 2019, as you can see there. So, yeah. And then I had God direct my life. Okay. Like I said before, I've always been a Christian since I was 8, but you never really know it when you grow up. You have to really kind of go through a couple things. And for me, it was, who am I? Who's your identity and why is your identity? And so, it's been really well. Next is going to be, why did I change? Okay. I used to be confident as a kid, like I said, and I was bullied, and puberty made me feel like I was like ugly. Didn't look good. And I was just tired of feeling like a little kid. Everyone would just kind of walk all over me, and I was just sick and tired of that. Despite being 6'2", I didn't have that presence that I wanted. And I was tired of not ever having a girlfriend. The pain was enough emotionally to make a change. So I was finally sick and tired of feeling this way to actually change my life. So, I had the time finally to go to the gym during my last semester there. So I decided to start doing that. I didn't even believe the gym was for me. I remember looking over there and saying, hey, I'm not a football player. Like, I'm not a super hot guy or whatever. This isn't for me. So it took a lot of courage to even just show up that first time. I wanted to be the best in every area of my life, right? I knew that working hard through mental struggles through college was going to shape me into who I am today. And I wanted that to be the best. I wanted to be the best in every area, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. I mean, anybody saying that, oh, you shouldn't have money if you're a Christian, that's nonsense. It says literally that he wants to bless you abundantly, okay? To have a life prosperous, not to harm you. So, there's all kinds of opinions on things. But, I wasn't going to live an average life. I was sick and tired of that. That was not going to happen. I watched my parents struggle with money at an early age, and I said, you know what? That's not going to be me. So I had to make this happen for myself. Because no one else was going to do it for me, right? So right here, needed to make a difference. And it first starts with you. So for me, once you decide to actually make a change, then you can make a change. And then I wanted to be a leader, okay? You can't be a leader if you're not in shape. I'm sorry, but if you're fat and out of shape, there's no way you're going to be a real leader, because people respect the discipline, the motivation, and everything that you do in order to become that person. The way your vocal tonality is, everything. And so when you're in shape also, side note, you're not going to be used by a woman for your money or your body, okay? You can be able to make your own decisions. They're not going to run you and hold you by the nose, okay? I've seen some people in our family being ran by the nose, and that's unacceptable, okay? And then I made a video statement in 2019 when I first started the gym that basically said, hey, I'm going to be the same. I have this video in here somewhere, not on this presentation, but on my computer. But that I would be the same person, regardless if I had muscles or if I didn't. And I really believe that. And then, so the last 6 years, really, all this has been done during my corporate job. I didn't have luxury being some sort of influencer, just going to the gym every day for 6 hours. You hear about these 20-year-olds that all they do is just eat and go to the gym. And then they try to tell you, who's working a 9-to-5 job, that, oh, you can do the same. Well, no, not really. That doesn't exactly happen like that. So I know what it's like to be you guys. I started wearing tank tops, feeling more confident. Okay, when you look good, you're going to feel good, right? It's just the way it is. Like right here, I felt like I could be in the gym with the hottest people. And I know I keep mentioning this, but it's true. And at least that was my truth back in the day, as motivation, that, hey, I can be like them too. That if I can be around something that scares me this much and be like that, then I can conquer anything, and it's easy to act like 007 when you look like him, like I always say. And so stepping finally into who I know I needed to be for God and myself was huge. Being an ambassador for him. How can you possibly be like a good manly man for God and you're all like nervous and self-conscious yourself? Like, it makes no sense. Does he want a bunch of weak warriors wandering around, or does he want a bunch of strong men, right? Men and women. So I started working on my mindset, motivational speeches, listening to them all the time on the Stairmaster, like my first 2 years working out. I'm like, I know I can do better. I know this can happen. I know that I can, step into who I need to be. And I finally understood that my reality is subjective. It's all based on your thoughts. Just because somebody looks at you, they could be admiring you. They could be laughing at you. It doesn't matter. But it's all subjective on your own mind and your own thoughts. And so you're in control of your own mind. And I learned I could change my behaviors and become the best version. What was the cost of all of this over the last 6 years? I'd estimate I'd spend over 3,000 hours in the gym in my lifetime. And that takes, time. But, it's just the way it has to be. You got to remove the habits that don't serve you. Okay, the addictions, the procrastination, the laziness, all from your vocabulary, and replace it. Okay, habits aren't just like destroyed and, okay, I don't have any more habits. You're going to create new habits to replace those, and then have an actual purpose for doing it and making small wins at the gym, at your job, making more money, promoting, those kinds of things, getting married, all those kinds of things all play in. And then having patience, right? This didn't happen overnight. Don't think that for 1 second that, all of a sudden, boom, I can just go and my whole life has changed in one night. You would fall asleep, or at least I would fall asleep, wake up, still feel kind of the same I did the day before, and it was just a muscle I had to keep exercising, because the mind is a muscle and you just got to keep pushing it. Have you guys ever had a headache from thinking too hard? Right, this is the question. Well, engineering I did is a muscle, like I'm saying here. And each time, you got to keep overcoming it. I was like, is a pizza okay? Or do I need to work out today, right? And so what I like to think of it is like a rock in your shoe. You just ignore it and you keep moving forward. Like just the other day, I felt super motivated to go get a pizza. Now, I'm not somebody who's like all strict on your diet all the time. Like it's okay to have like a cheat day or whatnot. And you should. Otherwise, you're going to go insane. But then you're going to be too far on one end of the spectrum. I always believe in good balance. But I know that I was going to eat out later. So I knew that I needed to be disciplined in my mind and do it this way. And so like that rock in the shoe that kept pestering me. Hey, you should go have a pizza. Hey, there's a lot of dishes you're going to have to do tonight. It's late. Like I didn't care. I just ignored it and I kept moving forward. So that's kind of what you're going to have to end up dealing with. And then who will not succeed in this? A loser mindset. Somebody who is basically hard at heart, right? You're not going to change. You're done. You're a victim now. You're not going to win, okay? You're not a risk taker, okay? If you want to play it safe all the time and not try to become better, it's over for you. I'm sorry. And no one can change that except you. You're too scared to make a leap of faith. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm going to try to step out. And you can't just like tip your toe in. You have to go full in. Like that Indiana Jones where he steps out. The leap of faith. Same thing. Overly confident. Okay, some guys are just way too overconfident, which stems from other self-esteem issues. And then pain points are not high enough. If you're to the point where, it doesn't really matter, then yeah, of course it doesn't matter. You're not there yet. Once the pain is enough for you to actually make a change, then it will happen. And unfortunately, a lot of times the pain isn't high enough for someone to start making a change until they get diagnosed with something like diabetes, or, now they have, leg issues or something. And it's unfortunate. But, I try to do preventative maintenance rather than, after the fact. So another one, not willing to commit for life. This isn't something you just start doing and give up. Self-development is a journey and it always continues. And I would recommend documenting your journey. Okay, if you're just starting out, even if you aren't just starting out, I should have been documenting this a lot more than I did before. Okay, so I'm kicking myself for that, but you guys still have the opportunity to do that. The lack of support system will bring you down. Okay, I always say this: if you marry somebody that doesn't really think the same as you, if you're not equally yoked, and one side's pulling one, the seesaw is too heavy on one side, you're going to be weighed down. Especially if they're out there having cookies and cakes and stuff daily. You're eventually going to fall into that. I know because my parents dealt with that. Okay, it's tough. Your kids, your friends, if they're not here to support you in your weight loss goal or your weight gain goal or becoming a better man, that's probably because they're not trying to become better themselves. So be on the lookout for that. Unwilling to analyze your entire life and make changes. Okay, a lot of times, like I say in the last bullet here, we're not ready to face our traumas. We're not ready to make peace with that and move on. Like I've said in some other videos, we've got to make those emotions rise up, deal with it in that moment, and move on. Pros and con lists work great for this. Being willing to just kind of really dive in deep. And I've always been a very deep person, and I love understanding what makes people tick and those kinds of things, and really analyzing, why am I like this? Is this a genetic thing? Is this a behavioral trait? Was it something that happened when I was a kid? What is it? And then from there, you can write things down on paper. Okay, I always say write it down because you can be able to see it better and understand it. And then you can move forward with that. But, so like I said, who will not succeed? These people. But, what qualities do you need to make a transformation? You need a big dream. Okay? You need to think that, hey, I can have a better future. I remember having bad jobs and just thinking in my mind and listening to podcasts and like real estate investing and be like, you know what, this is going to make such an amazing story one day. The fact that I'm way low, making like trash money, doing trash labor, literally, guys, I was like in trenches to, I can have a better future and can become a better person and teach that to somebody one day. And I knew that like years ago. Accountability. It's your fault, bro. Everything is your fault. If you can just assume that, even if it isn't, you're going to be able to start taking full responsibility, have the freedom to be able to go ahead and move forward. The momentum. The daily videos that I'm posting, that's my momentum. Because if I just stop and say, oh, you know what, I think I'm good, the momentum dies off. And then what ends up happening is I get into a negative feedback loop. You start eating bad again, and the whole cycle continues. So that's why I try to keep up with these daily videos. So far, I've done a great job with it to keep that positive momentum flowing. Discipline, waking up early. Guys, I'm up at 5:30. You can pick your own wake-up time. I know everybody's schedule is different, but for me, 5:30 is the best, just to be disciplined and to do things I don't like to do, like push-ups, and then make a video on how I feel in that moment. Usually my brain is off. I'm trying to think and I just can't because I have no coffee. I hit the alarm and I go straight outside. So that's pretty much what goes on. Instruction. You need truth. Okay, there's a lot of myths out here, like I always say, in a world full of fakeness and deception. We need truth. And so that's why I've learned so many different things and with the certified trainers and nutrition and everything else, because I really want to know what the truth is. Before, when I was a kid, I used to think, oh, YouTube is the truth. Wikipedia is the truth. That's not the case. Because the real truth is in the literature, in the studies, in all that. Not from someone just saying nonsense on the internet, because anybody can say that now. And then strategies and tactics. You can't just go to the gym or whatever and just think you're going to win nilly-willy. Just, oh, I feel like this today. No, you need a full strategy, a full plan, and a proven plan to make sure that happens for you. Sustainability for a lifestyle. Okay, this isn't something that just lasts for 2 seconds. So you know that you're going to be sustained throughout this entire process and forever. So having that good support system, having a coach, having positive support from your team. Okay, and who's your team? Your family, your friends, me even, right? And patience. Like I said before, it doesn't happen overnight, and you definitely need a lot of time management. I know that, like, as a guy who works corporate, it's pretty tough, and I've played with every sort of schedule. I've done mornings, I've done nights, like working out at 11 p.m. I find that the best time for me is right after work because I'm ready to just kind of get after it. I know that some of you guys have a lot of physical type jobs, and that could be more of a challenge. Perhaps maybe work out on days that you don't work, and try to go from there. I would suggest 4 days minimum. If you must, though, just to get that ball rolling, I would do 3. Do a push-pull legs. If you're a little overweight, do some cardio. It really just depends on your goals and what you've tried and whatever. But, yeah. I just wanted to share with you guys my story real quick. I know it's kind of a longer video, but hey, I wanted to make sure that you guys kind of know where I'm coming from and what qualifies me to even talk about any of this stuff. Because it's like, who's this random guy? But, yeah, if you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you. And we're just going to keep going and getting better. So, anyway, boys, in a world full of fakeness and deception, take care of yourself and keep dominating your realities. I'll see you in the next video.